Okay friends, to get started on our job, one of the first things we have to do is remove all 5 of our lug nuts and then remove the wheel. Now that we have the wheel off of here, let's continue on with this bottom bolt right here. Remove your bolt, inspect it, make sure it's in good condition. Now let's remove the sway bar link. To do that, if you look in the center, you can see an area that you should be able to fit an Allen head socket into. While holding that, you would just reverse this nut right here to remove it. Commonly, the center is stripped out, so I'm just going to use some locking pliers. Now on the back side here, you just want to make sure you pay attention not to damage the boot. Mine has a little lip that I can grab onto. Slide this out of the way. Next, we're going to remove this pinch bolt right here. Once you have the pinch bolt out, we're going to continue on by carefully bonking on this right here, being careful not to damage our ABS wire, but also when it comes down, we want to make sure we don't damage our boot right here. The next thing we're going to do is remove this right here, which is the bracket for our ABS wire. Now up inside the engine compartment, you're going to find your strut tower. There's going to be 3 mounting nuts that hold the strut to the body. Do not touch this center nut. Now for this last one, keep in mind this is the only thing holding up the strut, so I'm going to reach inside the wheel well, hold on to it, and then we can remove our last nut. Now I'm going to carefully bring this down, being very careful not to damage my ABS wire on the way out. There it is, friends. Now it's going to be time to install our brand new front strut. Couple things to mention real quick. Up along the top, I like to use a little bit of red thread locker right on the threads. Other than that, make sure your pinch bolt area right here is facing out towards you. Now while we install this, of course we want to make sure that we're very careful around our ABS wire. I'm just going to slide this right in here. We'll line it up with where it needs to be, start on all of our nuts. There we are. Now back inside the wheel well, let's go ahead and clean up this area right here. Copper never sees. Now we can put this together. If it seems as though it doesn't want to line up or it can't fit on there, just go ahead and use a pry bar. We're going to carefully come up inside this area here, pry up on this, and then down on that. Now we can bring this up so it bottoms out right along this area here. You can see right where it's supposed to fit in. Insert your pinch bolt with a little bit of red thread locker. All right, so we've got our pinch bolt in there. Now before we go ahead and snug it up, we're going to make sure that we have it completely seated, just like this. Once you have that in there, we're going to continue on to our lower bolt. Make sure you put it in the same direction. Came through from the front to the rear. That's the way it needs to get reinstalled. Now let's torque this lower bolt to 76 foot-pounds. Torque your pinch bolt to 35 foot-pounds. Resecure your ABS wire. Now let's get our sway bar link back on here. If it doesn't seem like it lines up, just go ahead and take a pry bar, carefully pry down, slide it in. Now let's torque this to 31 foot-pounds. Now we can go ahead and put the wheel on here. We'll start all the lug nuts on, snug them up, get the wheel on the ground, and then torque the lug nuts to 98 foot-pounds. Torqued. All right. Now that we have the wheel torqued and everything back on the ground, we can continue on by snugging these up and then torquing them. Okay friends, we got the driver's side strut in here. What's left to do now? Of course you're going to do the exact same thing to the passenger side. When you do one strut, you do them as a pair. Aside from that, go ahead and take it for a road test down to your local alignment shop.